Hello everybody, I am the Worm and welcome back to Metaphor ReFantazio. Last time was a bit of a doozy, and that's putting it lightly. We seem to have actually defeated Luis. And it's, in some ways, it's hard to believe that. I mean, we defeated him ourselves and saw him fall, and yet, I mean, along with I think, besides some nameless characters, in the very first opening cutscene of the game, Luis was the first character we ever got to see and kind of got to know a little bit about in the game. And so, to have him be gone is, well, it's quite something. And perhaps more disturbingly, having defeated him, we don't seem to be getting the result we wanted. That being the curing of the prince, which has led our group to theorize that perhaps Luis was not the one to curse the prince. And that leads our suspicions toward the church, to Sanctism, to Forden specifically, or someone working with him, because we know that Sanctism for a while now has been gaining more and more control over the kingdom, and so perhaps it's not far-fetched that they would want to endanger both the king and his heir. I mean, we've seen just how ruthless they are, you know, towards anyone who's in their way. You know, the pagans, anyone who's in the way of their igniter business. So, I mean, yes, it perfectly follows from everything we've seen thus far that Forden and the Sanctism are going to be big bads in the end. We're still a bit unclear of both the origins of humans and the spreading of melancholia, but I think that's probably going to also be Sanctism and the church and Forden in the end, so maybe this was all gonna end up this way in any case. But, yeah, I mean, yeah, I don't know. I almost feel a bit disappointed that Luis is gone and not going to be the final boss or something, you know? Yeah, it's weird. But I do think that whole sequence was, you know, us getting through the opera, and then the actual duel on the rooftop. I mean, it was exciting. It was, you know, of course, he was injured during the fight, or before the fight, and so he only had half a health bar. I mean, if we're thinking about sort of meta reasoning here, that makes me think, you know, we have to fight again with a full HP bar, right? You know, is that too much of a stretch in terms of meta reasoning? Because it felt like it was two things. One, he let us fight with our group, and two, he was wounded. And so it felt pretty unfair, all things considered. So I don't know what the circumstances would be that would lead to a rematch, but just gameplay-wise, I could certainly see us being justified in having a rematch where we could face him at full strength, something like that. But I mean, unless there's, I don't know, I mean, we know royal magic does some crazy things, but unless we're dealing with clones or some kind of resurrection or I don't know. You know, there's gonna have to be something crazy for us to fight Luis again, I think. So beyond Luis, I guess it's gonna be Forden. Although we did see, I mean, maybe this character has been hidden in plain sight this whole time, but we did see the one who checked up on Luis after he fell, did have some unique things about their character. I think the shoes they were wearing looked unique. The voice actor, I actually haven't gone back. I think maybe I should have. It sounded vaguely familiar, their voice, but I'm not sure about that. But, so there might be an even bigger bad behind Sanctism that we're not sure about yet, but we'll just have to wait and see. The two brothers were reasonably upset, but at least for the moment, we've parted without violence, so that's good. And now I'm not sure what we do. Let's at least let's talk to our companions and then rest up and see what the next day brings, because I am ever so curious what's going to happen next here. Oh yes, that's right. We're going to try and actually question Forden, which I'm not really sure how we expect that to go. To be honest with you, I don't think we're gonna get. I don't think he's likely to just tell us if he did do it, and us asking him about it could just lead to. You know, we seem to be entering his and Sanctism's good graces for us taking out Luis. So I feel like us inquiring about the assassination and, you know, somewhat accusing him, in a sense, would... we would be throwing away the goodwill we've earned with what we've done.
That's Luis.
I mean, I get what you're saying, Yufa. Oh yes, that's right, we do need the spear. Rayla's hiding something, okay. I mean, it better not be something like Rayla's responsible for the curse. Hopefully not something like that.
Good night.
Time marches on, and the age of a new king draws nearer.
Now, let's get this year's Saints' Day Festival of Montario underway. We will begin with a few words from His Eminence, Sanctifex Forden.
Looks like Dracodios hasn't left his side.
Today is a day of great celebration. A day to offer up our thanks to God. But first, an announcement. Luis is dead. The royal family's murderer has been put to justice. Now much of the kingdom's trust lies with me. Even this king-defying lance is safe in my hands. I would not see further bloodshed in endless, futile conflict. Is it not past time for reconciliation and open dialogue as a newly forged nation?
He's talking as if the race is already over. What about deciding the winner?
All but a formality now, isn't it? His Eminence has the overwhelming majority on his side.
better to establish peace now and crown Sanctifex Forden.
No. He would end the tournament here and now.
So he's just going to call the race while he's ahead? How convenient.
I mean, in some sense I get it, but that doesn't overwrite the king's magic, right? The king's magic, Hythlodes V, he set a date when the next king will be chosen, and this whole tournament, it was all a creation of Forden and the church. So, and I mean, it's a strategy, and I think it was probably a good one in a sense, to grab everyone's attention. So I can definitely see why they'd want to call it quits while they're ahead. But technically speaking, the true race won't end till it's the actual date it's supposed to end. So, although definitely not good for us, I don't think it means it's over.
But the throne's decided by the king, not this tournament.
Yes, thank you, Juna.
Forden only had to abide by that when he had Luis to compete with. If he ends this while he's this far ahead, we won't be able to reverse it.
Oi! The game's not over yet, you cocky bastard!
We only seek to submit to the will of the people. Though you would be wise to quit the race with all speed.
Forden for the throne! Then we will finally have peace!
Hail His Majesty Forden! Long live His Majesty Forden!
Damn him. The people already believe him the victor. Tournament won or no, his dominance will soon be unshakable.
Let's go. We reclaim the lance, now!
Okay, I mean, this is... talking about squandering our goodwill, this is, well, this is going quite a bit further than that.
Now? Are you out of your mind?
If he's going to keep it close to hand, we'll never have a chance to swap it out. We'll have to take it by force.
If it's too dangerous, we have no choice. Oh man. I wanna agree with Stroll. But oh man, this is a lot. My instinct is saying we do need to be active and not passive here. We need to do something. Let's try it.
We have no choice.
If there really is no other way.
Whoa, what was that?
So you were after this lance all along? Loyalists indeed. How many more candidates must die by your hand?
His muggler is horrific, distorted. It's sickening.
Oh, I just noticed. Look at the middle right. The brothers are there, next to Batlin. What are they doing?
What did you? How dare you, you pagan wretch! You would steal this holy lance for your own vile ends. That alone is treason against the kingdom, you filthy assassins.
Assassins? Then we're in good company.
Oh, he's just gonna level the accusation now, huh?
That night, you were the one behind the attack on His Royal Highness. You framed Luis for your crime and banished him from the palace. Do you deny it?
This is quite the turnaround from yesterday.
Precisely the sort of baseless claims I'd expect from desperate sinners.
Oh yeah? Well, why don't you take your shirt off? Show me your back.
Baseless, is it? In that case, shall we produce proof of your treason?
You waste your breath. What do your words matter now? The royal family is gone. Luis is dead. Only I remain. And only I am fit for the throne.
You vile traitor!
You call His Eminence a traitor? Preposterous! The Sanctifex is incapable of such deeds!
Your Majesty Forden, punishment to the disloyal.
Charge these ruffians with your divine lance!
Behold, the flock has spoken. Those who defy me are to be executed. Before you die, know that I am in your debt for killing Luis and handing me the crown.
Del, what the hell's going on? I thought the prince's curse was supposed to be off.
It's clearly not. The prince's assassination, the whole lot. It was all the Sanctists. It was all that bastard pulling the strings from the start.
How come they're allowed back here?
Wait. Is that...
You! Identify yourself!
Is this the person we saw last episode? Man from off stage, or is this the person? Who is who here? What's going on?
Who are you?
We're at a festival. Should we not be festive?
No.
I've come to meet you, Forden.
Luis? Impossible. How could you have survived? Not that it matters. It falls to me to finish the job, then. Coming here sealed your fate. Hell awaits, and this time I'll make sure you stay there. Face your divine punishment, Luis! But why?
It appears your sins outweigh mine.
What have you done?
That lance is counterfeit, just like you. This is the true lance.
You snake, Luis.
Wow.
Did he just kill Sanctifex Forden?
Well, I do believe a couple episodes back, I did make a prediction where Forden would be the one who ended up taken out. Now, you know, I can't get full credit here because I thought it was going to be something where Luis knew what we were going to do and then was able to make it so that we accidentally were the ones that take out Forden instead of taking out Luis. But, so I definitely did not see the whole fake out Luis suddenly reappearing and doing this. Okay, so what was the... How did this happen? Was that fake lance the same fake that Nurus made, or is it another fake lance? Okay, now I'm guessing that whoever that person was that examined Luis's body... I don't think that was a fake. I think whoever it was that examined Luis last time was someone who was on Luis's side, and he faked his proclamation, or his examination of Luis's body, to throw off suspicion. And so... then presumably, at some point, Luis was taken away, and that person was able to, resuscitate or Was this the plan the whole time, or was it a spur of the moment thing? Well, I mean, where do we stand now? Whose side are we on now? Is someone gonna tell us anything? 'Cause now I feel kind of lost.
No. Impossible. Nothing to see here. The festival is cancelled. Cancelled.
A bit late. A bit late for that, I think.
Del, Lord Luis is alive.
What's going on?
Good people! You have heard the truth with your own ears. Forden was the vile mastermind behind the prince's assassination.
Wait, if that's the case, maybe the prince is healed now? Although we did suspect that maybe it wasn't Forden himself who cast the curse, so maybe not.
For casting his sins upon me, for seeking to usurp the throne, I have passed due judgment. A tainted Sanctifex is unfit to rule. What's the matter? You seem lost for words.
We killed you. You came back to life? Yeah, sure. Let's see if we can get him to say exactly how he did this.
You came back to life?
You believe me resurrected? Even if I could defy death, I care nothing for the prospect.
Then how? How are you alive? Forden's own attendant confirmed your death.
I think we can see the guy back there. I don't know if you can see my mouse, but see, there are the brothers here. This person here, I think. Because I think I can see partly the shiny shoes. Really curious about that.
Forden's attendant? You mean that fellow?
No! Zorba?
Son of a gun, that's the voice! That was the voice! Ah, God dang it! I feel like I almost wanted to say that, but I didn't. Oh, man. I knew it sounded familiar. Well, this isn't good. Well, that just seemed unnecessary.
Back at the Grand Cathedral, I ordered the dead to recover my body if the need arose.
I'd always intended for Forden to die by my hand, and the first step in his downfall was Zorba's infiltration.
Impossible. The lance pierced you through your very breastplate.
It did indeed. And frankly, I'm still impressed. Few could land such a decisive blow against me. But I'm afraid fate was on my side, not yours.
Mortal anatomy is my speciality. I knew at first glance that the wound was deep, but the heart was intact. Lord Luis is destined for far greater than this. So I devised a plan. I would proclaim his death and deceive both Forden and his flock. After that, it was simply a matter of magically regenerating his flesh overnight. Only a fool would expect him to die in such a place.
Okay, well... Alright then.
I could have emerged as soon as I'd healed. But where's the theater in that? Today is a day of celebration. The least I could do is offer a fitting death out of mercy.
Why'd you have the real lance? Wasn't it supposed to have gone to Forden?
Wee bit slow on the uptake, eh? I just told you, I was present for the inspection. It was hardly a difficult task to swap out your counterfeit.
So you knew the truth of it? No. Have you always been ahead of us, ever since the moment we thought Zorba dead?
A holy lance, a convincing prop. What does it matter? Had I truly died, it would simply indicate that I was never fit for my ambitions. Power is the only true arbiter. Behold the proof. Forden lies dead, and the lance is in my hand, just as planned.
You let us do as we pleased, even knowing the risks. You're insane!
Indulge me a question. You stole the magic formula from me. Surely you soon learned that it was useless. That's why you then resorted to killing the caster. You were desperate to lift the spell. Is that not so? In other words, the curse's victim still draws breath.
Uh-oh.
For that reason, you sought to kill me even amidst this competition, even with the difficulty of the king's magic in your way. So, His Venerable Highness the Prince survived. Where is he? Speak or die.
Well, we are in a pickle, aren't we? Uh-huh.
Please, spare us!
No! Stop! Leave them be!
How quickly the Sanctors break rank and flee. Their flock left to die. This is Sanctism.
No! Stop him!
Don't!
Out of the way!
What?
Why?
Go! Run!
Right.
Come now.
Thank you. You protect them. Yet what value do they have to you?
It's not that! This is just wrong! It's wrong, me lords!
I see. So even you two faltered.
Dal!
Dal! Vitelio!
Hey! Wake up!
I get it now. Only fair thing in this world is power. With it, you can take whatever you want in this life. Or so I thought. Tell. But you know, if all the weak get left behind, who's left to protect them? I've been an idiot. Sorry about that.
Stop talking, Dal.
I see it, you know. Our little diner. Music in the air. It's grand. Look after Lady Juna. Huh? Hey. Tell?
Dal!
Pitiful. See what Brotherhood earned them.
Lord Luis,
That's what it all comes down to for you, yeah? The strong are right, the weak are wrong. Doesn't matter what you were born into, there's fairness in that. We saw you as our hope. We thought that if you had a proper strong fella on top, he'd be able to put a stop to all the meaningless discrimination. But we had it wrong. You're no ray of hope. It doesn't matter to you. Killing anyone, it doesn't make you feel unclean. You're the kind of cold-blooded bastards we hate more than anything!
Do not concern yourself with this peon, Lord Luis. With my newfound power, I shall tear them limb from limb.
This way! Guards, hurry!
Step aside. You have important work to do.
Hey! Seize the criminals who murdered His Eminence!
We didn't do it, but we should probably still run. Basilio, come with us!
Shut up! What about Del? You saw what that bastard did to him!
I will not let you die in vain. Your brother didn't do this so you could get yourself killed. For now, please flee with us.
Shit!
Come, make haste.
Oh, welcome back. It went about as well as could be expected. We wanted something nicer for his grave, but they told us something like that's reserved for Sanctus tradition.
You can expect little else in Altabri. I apologize for not being present.
We've just gotten ourselves out of the public eye. If we had gone as a group, worst case, we'd have been turned in.
I wish we could have mourned him at his home. It had to happen in the lap of the Sanctus Church of all places. I hear the Parapists typically prefer a more joyful send-off, with singing and celebration.
It's all right. Us soldier kids could never afford to be too picky. Del knew he couldn't choose where to snuff it. The fact that you were there, Lady Juna, that's enough for us.
Basilio.
Best to leave him be for a while. He's just lost the only family he had.
By the way, have you checked the Farsight mirror? The curse might be...
Unfortunately, it still hasn't lifted. Guess that means it was someone other than Forden after all.
I mean, technically speaking, it could be Luis again. But, well, probably not with the direction it seems to be going.
But Forden brazenly admitted that he had been the mastermind. Luis was innocent of that crime, at least.
Did he admit that? I can't remember.
Someone must have cast it at Forden's command. Unless we can find and kill them in time. Damn it all!
Now I'm thinking... Remember how I said I worry it might be Rella? Now I'm thinking... I'm increasingly worried that it is, because that would just make it, you know, all the more heartbreaking.
We've more pressing problems at hand, don't we? Now Luis knows the prince is alive. Surely that's far from ideal.
The village is deep in the forest. It's not an easy place to find, even if you're looking. Going to the prince's side could be dangerous, so let's not get ahead of ourselves.
But even if we sought the real culprit, we no longer have any leads to follow.
If I might make a suggestion, perhaps we should visit my sister again. She may have some insight on the Sanctus Church's past, but that's tomorrow's concern. As for tonight, we could all use some time to rest our hearts and minds.
Oh, look at you, kid. You look near dead yourself.
Tell? What?
Seems you made it out in one piece, though.
Are you alive? But back there, you... Don't tell me you pulled some bloody trick. Just like Luis. Bloody hell, Tell. I thought I...
Basilio, sorry. From here on, you're taking the lead.
But why? I can't without you. Tell, I only made it this far because I followed you.
Don't give me that. You're the strong one. Me, I never knew where I was going. Basilio, protect the weak. Swear you'll do it, not for me, but for yourself. If you can do that, I'll always be with you.
Tell...
Don't give me that look. Well, this one's goodbye for now. You ready? Let's hear it, Basilio. You fight, but why?
O Lodestar, ye grief-racked brother, O thou anguished traveler. Thy long stagnant stance hath finally been broken. Now choose thy path.
Not really a choice. It's back to the starting line. This time I'll lead. Ardell entrusted me with this chance. I've got to show him I've got this.
Thank you. Thou hast chosen a noble parting. O Lodestar, whose light reveals the king's own path. Henceforth, thy fears and insecurities are thy light. Awaken!
See you around, Dell.
Thank goodness! You're finally awake! You were passed out! Don't scare me like that! Not that I can blame you. After all that's happened.
Sir Basilio, there's magla flowing through him. I think it's the same as our power.
It's you lot. From before.
They want to pay their respects for Fidelio.
Thank you. Thank you so very much.
Ardell. Funny, innit? Maybe this world's not so bad.
Thanks.
Oh, you're welcome.
By God, what in the world is that, lads? It struck down Santifex Fallen right before our eyes. That's supposed to be impossible.
And Luis made sure it was a bloody spectacle, before an audience even. The bastard is making sport of it.
We must devise a plan. Otherwise, even if Luis does not sway our supporters, they may lose faith in the church.
Before all else, we must choose a successor, but they need not share Forden's strength.
I have brought her here.
You requested an audience? Assembled lords?
Rella, we must ask your support. Let me be direct. We would like you to enter the tournament as a formal successor to His Eminence Sanctifex Forden.
This girl? She is your plan?
Have you gone mad? I reject this proposal. If anyone is to succeed His Eminence, it should be me, as his trusted right hand.
See sense. Strength alone means nothing. And without that, you have nothing worthy of the people's loyalty.
Rella, will you not speak? Surely you feel what they ask of you is beyond your station.
Well, that is...
Very curious about this. Very curious about what her response is going to be here.
You are wise beyond your years, Rella. Surely you understand. What the lost children need now is not a righteous avenger, but a refuge from their fears. The people would flock to a saint who dwells among her people. Already many would rejoice to see you rule as queen. Rella, will you answer their call?
This is all rather sudden.
Of course, you would have our full support. Naturally, we will make arrangements so that the tournament's next round turns in your favor.
Even so, I am unfit to be queen.
Allow me to clarify. This is not exactly a request. Would you rather have that tyrant Luis become king?
Well then.
Hey, sounds like we've got big news. I just heard from the pack of Sanctists. I figured they'd shove someone up to take Forden's place. But where it is, it'll be Saint Rella. Gonna be an announcement tomorrow.
The mourning for Forden's barely started, and they're already lining up his successor. And Rella, at that. Going for popularity over power, it seems.
They're getting careless. Though, thinking about it, maybe it's a smarter choice than it seems.
But, say Saint Rella wins against Luis, becomes proper queen and all gets to do what she wants. Doesn't that tidy this whole thing right up?
No! This can't be her own decision. Just the idea of being queen would put her stomach in knots.
The politicians must be trying to make her their puppet. Perhaps it was an order she could not refuse.
This isn't good. Probably not the best time to talk to her either.
But that's got to mean they're keeping the tournament going, right? Then they'll probably announce the next challenge once Rella's candidacy goes public.
Either way, I don't like it. This is all escalating too fast for my tastes. All the support Forden had campaigned for will likely just go straight to Rella with hardly a dent. If Luis and the Sanctis Church are trying to reclaim the status quo as the two pillars of government, that'll be a tough lead to shake. After all, just lifting the curse isn't going to be enough to restore the prince to the throne.
Indeed. Luis versus Rella. Frontrunner and runner-up, with no ties to the royal family between them. Everyone will see plain that popularity's eclipsed royal right. His Highness himself will have to win this battle on the faith of the people, or his claim to the crown will never be acknowledged.
Besides which, Luis now knows that His Highness lives. His whereabouts have not been discovered, but the Kingslayer will take up the hunt.
So many obstacles. What do we do?
We have to keep trying to break the curse, but we also need to get people to support the prince's claim to the throne. Move forward, we need to buy time.
Well, I know one way to keep a VIP protected. A classic tactic, really. The military does it all the time. We use a body double. You're supposed to be a dead ringer for the prince, yeah?
Me? Well, we have a different hair color. But, I think we're roughly the same age and size. At least we were in that flashback, if I recall right. I'm not sure about Dead Ringer, though. Maybe.
You mean he pretends to be the prince? That's absurd. You realize it's a capital offense to impersonate royalty.
Not a bad idea, not as long as they don't find out. It's up to you. Oh my goodness. Well, I hadn't really thought of that. I mean, we do get a good look at the prince every time there's a day that goes by, and now that I think of it, yeah, if we dye our hair... Does the prince have heterochromia too? I can't remember. I should go back and look at that, because very early on, we saw a brief cutscene with the prince in the Elda village, I think. I should look at that. But how would we respond to this? Not a bad idea, as long as they don't find out. It's up to you. I mean, we can't always be... We're supposed to be the captain. We can't always be following... Stroll. You know, we do have to, I think... Step up for ourselves. I mean... As long as they don't find out... Because let us recall, the Sanctist camp had a plan where... What was it, Godot or Jadot? You know, the Roussant guy. The plan was, if he won, he would become king, and then he would just step down and grant it to Forden, right? Assuming that is a possibility, then I do see a scenario where, yes, we reveal ourselves as the prince, and then, following our victory, we could grant him the kingship, the real prince. And going along with that scenario, then yes, as long as they don't find out.
I'm in. As long as they don't find out.
You can't just casually drop an "I'm in" on this.
Too late, Gallica. I've done it. The words have already left my mouth. You can't put them back in.
Ardzel was right about you being mental. I think we could pull it off, though. The prince has been gone ages. Nobody's in a position to point out differences.
Look, things are going really crazy. And you know what they say. Fortune favors the bold. And I think now is a time to be audacious. While everything's in chaos. Let's toss the die and see what we get.
Wait, just think about this. He's Elder, the royal family's Clamar, and have been for generations. His appearance would be the least of our worries.
Oh, well, now you've just rained on my parade. That's true. Did the prince have horns? I'm trying to remember. Well, we could just come up with an excuse. In order to... I've been the prince the whole time. And in order to protect my identity, we shaved off my horns. And made me appear like an Elda. You know, it'd be the least likely thing for people to expect the prince to be an Elda, right? So that could be the story, maybe.
If I may. His Highness the Prince lacks the Clamar horns. Some rumors suggested 'twas not some miraculous feature of the prince alone, but a mark of Elden blood.
Okay, see there. Okay, I was gonna say, because I didn't remember seeing horns on the prince, but I'd completely forgotten that he was supposed to be a Clamar. You know what I just realized? Elda It's the fact that it says Mark of Elden Blood. That's almost like, it sounds like Elder Blood, Old Blood. That makes me think, do you think the Elda tribe are the tribe that, of all the tribes that exist currently, we're kind of most similar to the ancient humanity from, you know, the Utopia days? Just a random thought.
I've heard no confirmation either way myself, but at the very least, 'tis a tale any aristocrat is bound to have heard in passing.
In other words, with an elder claiming the prince's name and a known royal knight to vouchsafe him, we'd have enough plausibility to shake the nobles to their core.
Oh, snap. Okay, this plan is gaining some credence.
Of course, all this means little, unless our double himself is willing. What say you?
I mean, in an ideal world, I'd like to get the prince's permission to do this. But seeing as that we cannot have that, I feel like we have to do it. I mean, don't we have, you know, we're part of an organization that included Grius, if you'll recall. And I remember, again, in the early cutscenes, there were people that were surrounding the prince. I feel like I'd like to, you know, gather what's left of our resources, our faction. You know, maybe they could offer some advice or resources, but I guess since that's not an option, and we are the ones in the driver's seat, we have to make the decision, then yeah. I can see I am the prince. That's sort of like we're getting into character, but I think I just want to say I can't back down now. I think this is the only way forward. We have to do this. So let's make our determination known.
I can't back down now.
Wow. You never do, you know?
Your resolve has been challenged many times over, and never have you strayed. I am humbled once more. I pledge my sword to this gambit.
Good. Then we declare ourselves tomorrow, where this announcement's going to take place. Seems like the optimal place to make sure we're heard.
Right then. Looks like I'll have to give the old girl a polish worthy of a prince. My cue as well. From here on, it's nose to the grindstone until my magnum opus is finished. Can't let the lad be the only one with his life on the line.
Oh my goodness.
Can we talk?
Okay, yeah, okay, I think I'm gonna call it here. A little bit early, but so much happened, and even more than the last episode, so much happened. So I think I need to... I need to kind of digest exactly all the crazy things that happened this episode. We never did see his body, did we? Old Zorba. Because he fell off that roof. Did I even say something about that? That we didn't see his body, and so you never know. I don't know, feels like a bit of a cop-out. Oh, you know, just in case of my death, I ordered some undead to just stand around down at the entrance to collect me if I fell, and then I used my magics to resurrect myself and then heal Luis from near death. I somehow infiltrated Sanctism. Yes, the guy who famously hates Sanctism because he's, what was he, one of the half-breed people? Sanctists were just okay having that guy in their ranks? I don't know. It was a bit... Okay, I feel a ramble coming on, so let's hold off on that. Let me try to organize my thoughts a bit, and we'll meet back at the beginning of next episode, and I'll go over it a bit more. Although I'll leave off with this, and I may reiterate this next time, but I will say, I do feel, you know, obviously when you're in the moment, you feel horrified and despair when Luis is doing his thing, but now that scene's over, I do feel a bit satisfied with Luis coming back, because, you know, just having him up there and doing his thing, Luis, you know, his whole confidence, the ends justify the means thing, I did feel, I'm glad he's gonna be, you know, the main villain, probably the final boss and everything, because he felt like a much more suited to that role than, say, Forden. So, yeah. So in that sense, it's gonna feel good when we eventually beat him. That's what I'm getting at. Okay. Let's call it there. I am The Worm. This is Metaphor ReFantazio. I hope you're all doing well, and I hope to see you next time. Bye-bye.